is going to be important. If they're targeting different people, this draft will not work. If from minute 1, they only target one and make sure that target actually dies, kind of liking Vitality's lineup.
Okay, so there's certain winning conditions that need to be met right now. As we enter, ladies and gentlemen, for the first game of the Grand Finals at MWI x EWC. We're going to throw it over to the casters without further ado.
Thank you so much, experts. Thank you for breaking it down there. Welcome to the desk here. What is up, guys? I'm Nice2. I'm joined with Mirko to bring you this Grand Final. It's over 20 tournaments undefeated. Will this be another notch on the list for Team Vitality, or will the Empresses make history? Once again, welcome to the Land of Dawn. We're ready to kick off game number 1 in this best of 5. Mirko, how are we feeling about the lineups here? I know, the desk is PHID also, but how are we feeling?
I think we're the same, right? I mean, PHID here on the desk as well, on the caster desk. But I mean, looking at the lineup, I'm not too sure. Team Vitality definitely taking a risk here by going for the CC pick. Usually, we see Fumieko on picks like, it's always playmakers, the Terizla, the Yuzong, and last MWI is actually the Lapu Lapu. So, very interesting to see already a carry pick in the XP instead of the usual comfort pick that we see. Cine as well on the Ruby, right? Usually we expect the mid lane to be the one taken away the Angela, now brought back. This might be the second time, third time in a row, but Cine will be able to dash away. But back to my point, it's going to be a bit tough this time. With the Ruby in the mid, it's kind of different, Usually we see Angela.
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering. We've seen now up to this point 4 days where these ladies have had to figure out the Jushin pick. And is this the answer? Is this part of it? Bring in Ruby, bring in this Angela combination for both of them. Because even if you're dragged back and forth like we've seen so many times, at least you get some sustain. At least you're able to heal back up relatively quickly. I mean, even with both those heroes locked in. And that might be enough to just kind of leave it to more so a dead lane. Unless they can find a pick-off here.
Vival already moving forward with the shield duty, now helped out by Vivian, forcing Amarai to actually dash away. So, Smart Omega Empress losing out on the mid-prio just from that rotation from Vival. Starts up the Turtle.
Okay. Turtle's going to be up here. Still needing those level 4s, of course, here across the board. But the same thing, you're going to see, okay, Vivian actually has to burn the flicker for part of that, which she should be fine with. I mean, she doesn't necessarily need it right now. She might just try to get that level 4 too if they can. But the Turtle for the taking, it's at half health. There's the positioning. Murray gonna force Vival back, and wow, Cine's low too.
Primal Wrath used up already. Now Murray pops into Bulwark. Ayanami doing some damage now. The beacon comes down as that's gonna be the flare, bringing him back. I'm offended, able to connect onto the back as well, but Cine will be able to escape. First blood there with the Poissons. Fumieko still chasing them down. It's a kill, traded over for the Turtle. Fumieko still playing away with those yo-yos, but it will end just like that. Up top, though, we can see that it's a big win for Shinoa.
Yeah, good trade, though. I would say either side, but Smart Omega Empress pulls out a little bit further ahead. And like you said, a lot of that also, that gold plating there on the top side for Shinoa is secured. But first blood in the hands of Team Vitality. It went to, of course, Vival, which is going to help her rotate a little more confidently on this Baksha pick. That's one of the reasons why you still pick it. I know we're in the assassin meta for the most part, but a pick like Baksha with an Angela is actually quite deadly because you can just appear anywhere around the map very quickly. We're going to take a look at the items here real quick, falling into place. No first items locked in just yet. You got the Molten Essence to help farm a little bit faster because, you got to keep up with a Nolan. So you're going to have to work around that, but also it'll be interesting to see how they play it apart. And dealing, okay, they're going to use the I'm Offended. I don't think there's any follow-up there. And so with that, again, Team Vitality still kind of just keeping things even, for the most part for Smart Omega Empress. They want to be able to go full force against the next objective here. Still 40 seconds away from it, but let's talk about this matchup up here. The Melissa, man, it hasn't popped up too much. We've seen it a couple times. Is this a good matchup against the Roger up in the gold lane?
I mean, to be fair, Melissa really bullies almost everyone. I think the only matchup, hold up, Earth Shatter onto 2. Fumieko still able to purify out, but the Luminon Blast catches both of them. Fumieko escapes City. Not fortunate enough to actually get out of there. And yeah, no, Melissa dominates through lane, usually only getting countered by heroes with Blink. So Claude, Moskov could be the case as well, as long as you can get out of the muddles.
Are you a Melissa main now? I know for a while you were like 1-1.
1-1 when I first started, and then Melissa, ever since that skin, this skin.
Okay.
For no reason.
Ever since that one. Well, with that, Turtles up. They're going to go ahead and start it up. Hard guard going to be used, though.
Yeah, onto Fumieko with the curtain calm placed down as well. Now, meanwhile, Viva on the bottom lane just 2v1ing. Fumieko dashing forward, good mobility. City flickers forward, gets a donut. Wolf King Viva on a chase down, but Keishi is just so mobile. In the end, they baited out so many big abilities, and smart Omega Empress still get the objective.
Very disciplined. You know, that's what we're seeing here from these decisions. They don't have to fight. They get the objective, they get out, and that seems to be the move right now for Smart Omega Empress, as they want to go ahead and match up, you know, pretty much across the board with objectives. And dealing with that for Team Vitality, you know, they're falling a little bit behind now. We're talking, you know, 1,000 gold, nothing too crazy. So it's up to them if they really want to kind of even out what's happened in these past couple minutes with the objectives. It's to get a pick off and a kill. Now, the one thing that's hard is Edith, man. Edith has been popping up time and time again, and there's a reason for it. She, like, the fact that you can onward Earth Shatter or vice versa, and then pop a ton of damage once you pop the ultimate, the Primal Wrath, that's scary, that's tough to deal with. But then you round it up with the fact that you have a Lolita. You know, now we've seen Lolita in the past. Didn't work out too well. Hold on, Fumieko. Okay, she's got hard guard hovering over her too. But again, going back to it, Lolita pairs up really well with this. This could be the move that Team Vitality needs, though. They're just trying. It feels like they're kind of almost in a way like we need to find a kill to even things out.
Definitely. It does feel that way, you know, for Team Vitality, especially here. As even in the bottom lane, you can see that Fumieko, even on the CC, is actually having a tough time. Chill moves forward. That's the flare coming down. Chill able to dodge away with the light compounds and then flicker out as well. Airborne brought back. Blast under the turret. Not too sure if they want to come in onto this. They'll go for the turret instead. Mirai moving forward with the stun. Not enough damage. Shinoa, no mana. Chell brought back again. The healing's still there. Vivian even caught. Forced to flicker out. Now both flickers, Chell and Vivian, depleted.
And with that, this is just going to help build that lead up. Still looking for a play possibly here, but it's not Ayanami, and she's so tanky. She just pops the Primal Wrath. She's going to be fine. And oh, mid lane.
Sene able to survive. The knockout brings her back. Keishi doesn't have enough energy to go for it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, what happened? Ayanami, or rather not Ayanami, very specific there, will be able to outplay the 2v1 situation under the turret, getting Vivo. Now Keishi has a lot of space to go for the neutral objective for free. Fumieko cannot contest.
That's 3 for 3 now. Turtles, the objectives here for Smart Omega Empress. Talk about a lot of this macro play that they're making. The decisions are on point so far. It looks like the warm-up that they had earlier on, going 3 for 3, is what they did here, of course, for game number 1. This is a struggle that they've had, you know, dealing with the game 1s, but now they seem to be off to a good start. Looking at the items real quick, too. Some of those first items already locked in. Clock of Destiny there for Amore. Hunter's Strike now available to Keishi. She's working on the next, and even the Thunderbelt, and even that little extra boost of damage helps him out. Meanwhile, Shinoa, she has the Corrosive Ice, and she's working on the rest of the items, too. So, you know, at this point, Smart Omega Empress is actually at a pretty good power spike for the mid-game. This is all preparing for that first Lord coming up here in a little over a minute. They've been undefeated like this for a reason. Looks like we are jumping back in. And just as a note, I believe the fact is out of all the MWIs, they've only dropped, I think it is 3 games. That's it. Back in, at least for MWI 2024, they've only dropped 2. Back in 2023, they dropped not a single game, so 0. And 2022, they dropped 1. So a total of 3 games all has Team Vitality lost. And I feel like Smart Omega Empress, they prepared for this. We heard it in the interviews. They wanted to get to this point. Everybody had Team Vitality on their list. Of course, you want to take down the queens of MLBB. And game 1 already off to a good start for Smart Omega Empress. You can see once again as we get ready for this Lord in about 30 seconds, everything's falling into place for them. It's just managing these waves at this point, picking up the last maybe 2 or 3 items that they need, and then approaching it from there. So for Team Vitality, again, I think they just need to go ahead and get space to work with. They don't have any turrets down, you know, so it's at least start there.
And I think, honestly, when we're talking about the composition, Smart Omega Empress, they're doing good. Nah, they're doing amazing at this point, right? Keishi's 2 levels ahead of Vival. And on the box share, I think we know. If you don't, you know, if you're not able to build up a snowball in the early game, it's going to be tough. Down below, Primal Wrath already.
Good damage.
Definitely stings from the Echo. Forced back instantly. That's a free turret to not Ayanami Mirai. Opening up the mat, Cine walking forward, challenge, well, like and pounce. Stunned up, gonna be caught, forced to flicker out. Now blasting the flicker, continuing over, now forcing the hard guard out. Bivol able to find a shield into the cage, gonna be caught as well. Shinoa pops into muddles. Cine in the midst of it all, once again, able to flicker out. Good go away to prevent any sort of full engagement and commitment. Bivol brought back to the team once again, isolated again. Bivol still able to tank out a whole lot as Wumi Echo does it a bit more damage. Keishi assassinating Bivol, who's caught all alone. Now it's another win for Smart Omega Empress as they group up in the mid lane, not Ayanami. Walking forward, Fumieko taking a whole lot of damage from Amore just with the lantern flare. Cine moving forward, not able to find the I'm Offended. Amore just zoning them away. Cine brought back again. Good Earth Shatter, now Blast connecting on both. Now Shinoa walking forward, has the muddles, places it down. Cine can be caught, and again, it's not Ayanami on the Primal Wrath. Still going for it. Shinoa looking for a target to go for the muddles again, but finally Smart Omega Empress say, we've had enough.
Talk about an extended team fight into an objective, into a team fight. I mean, wow. Talk about Smart Omega Empress as we look at the STC replay here. This was even after a team fight towards that mid-upper river. And then they hold down this front side. They hold down the mid. Meanwhile, not Ayanami is just firing off here. And they secure the Lord too. You know, so this is just a big power play from the Empresses here because, man, how do you deal with this? Team Vitality. They were trying to get the space that they needed, but even with the healing that they have with the Angela pick, with the shielding, she's even got Flask of the Oasis, they could not withstand the damage that Smart Omega Empress had. And they're going to lose all these tier 2 turrets on top of this whole exchange. Big item pickups as well. Oracle for Murray, a little more defense there. Endless battle. And now they have to defend the base here. Lord's going to go ahead and work on these shields. Are they going to press the situation a little bit further?
Oh, onward coming down. Numenon Blast charged up as well. No flicker to stop Cine though. Caught in the midst of it all. Again, good beacon Bivol. Caught, isolated, and taken down. Another bring back as the Purify gets used up. But Fumieko is going to go for another flare. They're able to zone her away. 11 minutes in. Smart Omega Empress will end the game. One of the fastest losses ever that we've seen from Vitality, and it comes through the way of Smart Omega Empress.
Add one game to those defeats for the Queens of MLBB. Team Vitality takes a loss here, a quick one from Smart Omega Empress. Again, talk about how they just came out swinging in this. I don't know if it was the momentum they had from the last series, but they are here to play. They're here to dethrone the Queens, possibly. Off to a great start already. Under that 12-minute mark into game one. Just looking strong in every single lane and role. Of course, you can't count out Team Vitality at all. It is a best of 5. They'll go back, readjust from it, and get things situated. But would love to hear what the experts over on the stand have to say about this. Let's go ahead and throw it over to them.
The 4th game loss for the Queens of MLBB, the defending champions in such a dominant fashion. 11 minutes, that was all it took for Smart Omega Empress to bag game number 1 in this best of 5.
I feel me and Leo, we completely agree when we come to the conclusion that this game is really about not having enough damage. In fact, throughout the highlights, we can see that, like, this team fight, it went for so long, right? I kind of feel like I could have gone to the toilet, come back, and they're still fighting. That's how long it was, which really shouldn't be that way.
And one might think that if a team fight goes long with the kind of chunky and utility-centric lineup that Vitality drafted, they would win. But no, they're going up against one of the best, arguably the best right-clicker or auto-attacker in the game in Melissa. And this is just what? Barely the late game. She had the Trinity, just the Trinity, 0 kills. She wasn't even snowballing out of control. It's just that Vitality didn't have much of a threat to present to Shinoa.
Let's talk back about the draft here, because we were talking about how the 3rd pick was going to be crucial. The 3rd pick coming in from Vitality was the Angela. The 3rd pick coming in from Smart Omega Empress was the Nolan, even though we said it was early. But because of that...